Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's town hall meeting. Our topic for today is cultivating resilience and wise habits. So we were just coming out of commemorating World Investor Week for 2023 under the same theme. So today we'll just focus on the sub-themes that we were looking at this past month of October and some of the activities that the Commission undertook in commemoration of the World Investor Week. Our presenter for today will be Mrs. Dingase Mukamba, who is Manager Market Development. So we'll give it a few more minutes. We'll start at 15:05 or 15:07. A few more minutes just for some more people to join us. Thank you. Good afternoon once again. Thank you for joining us. My name is Tali Mwala Mugala. I'll be your host for today's meeting. Our presenter today is Mrs. Dingase Mukamba. She's going to speak to us about the World Investor Week, a commemoration of investor education that has taken place this past month of October. So Mrs. Mukamba will just take us through what the World Investor Week is about and why we're commemorating it as the Securities and Exchange Commission. So the theme for the World Investor Week was Cultivating Resilience and Wise Habits. A smart investor avoids fraud. So Mrs. Mukamba, could you just tell us why World Investor Week? What is it about? Dingase, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Hello?
we can hear you. Please go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much. I think just for a bit, Sichone can allow me to be on video. And because of our challenges with the internet, I can go off after I introduce myself. Thanks. If you could help me, because I'm not able to start the video from this end. However, just in the interest of time, thank you so much, Stali, for having me on this program, and thank you everyone who has joined us. We continue to engage you, the public, during this World Investor Week. It is really, it's called a week because of, this is just how it is couched. However, we continue with the important message that it has brought to us. So I am, once again, I'm Dingase Mukamba from the Securities and Exchange Commission in the Market Development Department, where I'm managing the market development. As the Securities and Exchange Commission, we do come together with the IOSCO, as the Securities and Exchange Commission is a member of an international body called IOSCO, which is the International Organization for Securities Commissions. And the World Investor Week is an initiative of IOSCO, but as members, which in most cases is regulators of countries, are members to this IOSCO, and therefore are given the mantle to spearhead the commemoration of the World Investor Week in the countries or the jurisdictions that are there in the various countries. Okay, so part of my presentation will include a discussion on what the World Investor Week is all about, which we have started already. And we shall look at why we actually commemorate the World Investor Week. And then we shall go into what messages did it bring for us in this year, 2023. And you will find that we'll obviously be talking about investor resilience, crypto assets, sustainable finance, pros and scams, as one of those things that have been identified as important to any investor to know about and hold dear to them, basically help them bridge the gap between knowledge, the basic knowledge for investing, and how they can make a good use of that knowledge in the financial markets. I will then go on to look at what activities were hyped or were actually created to ensure that we engage the public here in Zambia. And after that, hopefully it's a quick presentation. We go into an interaction where we'll be able to answer to any questions that will arise. So about the World Investor Week, what is it all about? As initially said, it's a public awareness campaign aimed at enhancing investor education and protection. That's a very important aspect because it's realized that most investors only have or may not even have the basic knowledge that they need in order to undertake really meaningful investments. The campaign, as mentioned, is led by IOSCO, which is an international body, and the good news is that the Securities and Exchange Commission is a member of this body, and it brings to Zambia many advantages, including the sharing of knowledge, learning experiences, and also just investor protection. As we know, we are operating in a global market, and there's a lot of interoperability going on from one country to another. There's also very fluid investment opportunities that are there. So this really helps us as the Commission to be able to even undertake our mandate better, because we're able to relate with other jurisdictions in terms of protecting them. You might want to know that some of the companies that are operating in our market actually might not be strictly Zambian. There will be international companies, but how do we know about who they are and what they do? We'll have to have good understanding of their businesses and where they're coming from. So this membership to IOSCO does really help us relate with the international bodies and have access to information in a better way. And also just being able to harmonize our business, have standards that are harmonized so that we could attract more investors to our market, as most investors wouldn't want to keep changing how they go about doing business from market to market. It sounds very expensive. So by being members of IOSCO, we are able to harmonize quite a number of things in the operations side of things. Hear me?
We lost you a little
Stanley,
bit, but
you lost me. Can you still see my screen?
no, we
Okay,
can't see your screen, but we can hear you.
let me bring it back.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry about that. Couldn't help it. Yeah, so why do we commemorate the World Investor Week? Strictly speaking, it's all about the investor. It's about investor protection. It's about bridging the gap between knowledge and what ought to be, so that the investor can enjoy their investing journey. So these financial industry stakeholders, as the SEC couches the way that we are going to approach the World Investor Week. Yes, it is at world level, but the Securities and Exchange Commission knows better what is pertaining in the market. So we are allowed to localize this week. And to do that, we come together, or we call upon the financial or what we call capital market operators, and encourage them to participate with us as we undertake the investor awareness activities. As you know, the SEC is the regulator, but the providers of the services are the market players or the service providers, so to say. And together we hold the interest of the investors as part of market development. We need an investor who is able to understand the services that are being provided, or indeed the opportunities that are there for them, and they must have basic knowledge of how to actually take up the products and make best use of them in order for
Oh, sorry about that. We seem to have lost Dingase again. I think the network is quite bad. Sichani, could you just share the screen once again? She'll pick it up when she rejoins us. Okay, so we seem to have a technical glitch from Dingase's end. She's been disconnected. So I'll pick it up from where she left off. So she was speaking why we commemorate the World Investor Week. And so it's aligned to the National Strategy for Financial Education. And I think she did mention the target groups being the children in school and out of school. We have got youths, we've got adults, both in formal and informal employment, and just all ages working groups. So this is done in order to disseminate key messages and to further the understanding of investor education and protection. So we just endeavor to enlighten the public about what their rights are, let's say as an investor. And then we also just talk about our mandate in terms of investor protection. So it also fosters learning opportunities for the investors and just strengthens the collaboration within their IOSCO members on investor education and protection. So we do encourage all industry stakeholders to participate in the awareness of World Investor Week. So the stakeholders that we have are our stock exchanges, our stockbrokers, the fund managers, and any other participant in the financial market is free to join us to commemorate World Investor Week. Next slide, Sitrani. Next slide, Sitrani. Okay, so the theme for the World Investor Week was cultivating resilience and wise habits. So the sub-themes, one of the sub-themes was investor resilience. So investor resilience is simply the ability to withstand shocks in the market, let's say market volatility, financial shocks, without losing too much money or making rash investment decisions as an investor. So one of the focus areas of being a smart investor in terms of investor resilience is that one is to focus on the impact of, let's say, inflation on purchasing power and uses real rates of return to assess the investment's performance. Another point is that you need to understand the way asset classes may behave in persistent inflation environment and the impact on their attractiveness. And then as an investor, you also need to understand the importance of diversification. So if you're trying to protect your investments or protect yourself against losses, you cannot invest in one single product, for instance. You need to be able to diversify. In case of unexpected events, you do not lose out entirely in one place. So meaning you're not putting your eggs in one basket, you're spreading your risk. And the other point is that a smart investor plans for life's unexpected challenges. There's budgeting strategies to manage risk, like I said earlier. Also, reduce the impact of inflation and avoid high interest debt. So if you see on the screen, we have some posters. So these posters are posters that we ran throughout the week or the month of October. We've been running this on our social media platforms if you've been following us. So some of the posters that you see here are some of the key messages we were just displaying for the public to learn from. Sichuan, you can move to the next slide. Okay, so another theme for the World Investor Week was crypto assets. So we did talk about this one as one of the key messages for the World Investor Week. So crypto assets are digital or virtual tokens that use cryptography to secure their transactions and control the creation of new units. So crypto assets are decentralized, meaning they're not subject to government or financial institution control. So one of the things we were just trying to emphasize as a smart investor, one is to understand the investment product and the risk associated to the type of product, in this case, crypto assets. So before you engage in investing in crypto assets of any kind, We just wanted you to be aware of the risks that are associated to that particular item that you would like to invest in. And then also, as a smart investor, do not forget about the importance of due diligence when considering any type of opportunity investment opportunity, including crypto assets. And then, as a smart investor, one also needs to recognize the warning signs of investment fraud. So because there's a lot of fraud going around, we are just trying to warn the public to be cautious, especially when you're trying to invest in any type of digital or crypto assets. So you should also never invest based solely on the celebrity endorsement. So just because, for example, we have a particular celebrity investing in a Bitcoin, for instance, or any other type of crypto asset, doesn't mean you should also invest in it. So what we're just trying to encourage is do your due diligence, ask the questions, just don't base your investment because somebody else is investing in the same. So understand the risks associated with the crypto asset, including fraud, volatility, misleading endorsements, and potential of bankruptcy or the insolvency of the issuer or the intermediary who is investing on your behalf. So in terms of crypto assets, these were some of the posters that we put up on our social media platforms, just speaking to the same and giving warning messages around crypto assets. We can move to the next slide, Sichuani. Sichuani, next slide, please. Okay, so another key theme that was being emphasized during the World Investor Week was sustainable finance. So sustainable finance is a broad term that refers to any financial service or product that takes into account environmental, social, governance factors. So this means that sustainable finance considers not only the financial performance of an investment, but also the importance on the environment, the society, the company's corporate governance practices, etc. So in this regard, we were just emphasizing that as a smart investor, one needs to realize that sustainable finance may be referred to in many different ways. Like I mentioned, the environment, social, and governance investing. So it's where you're investing in products that are going to have a social responsible impact. So it's like some form of impact investment. And then we also looked at emphasize the fact that as a smart investor, one needs to review the investment disclosure documents to see how it weighs in on various ESG, and sustainable finance factors. And the other point was also that one needs to consider whether an investment stated approach to sustainable finance matches the investor's investment goals, objectives, and risk tolerance and preferences. So as an investor, in terms of sustainable finance, you need to understand what this product that you want to invest in is about. And if you'd like to, if it's a sustainable project, you want just to know what the impact it has, what risk tolerance it has, and so forth. Then another factor to consider as a smart investor is that one needs to understand that each sustainable finance investment opportunity is unique and should be evaluated on its own terms. So again, we have some posters that we developed as a commission, and these were also adapted from the key messages that we got from the IOSCO guidance. So like I mentioned, there's a poster there which states a smart investor realizes sustainable finance may be referred to in many different ways. So you have the 4 different posters there speaking to different aspects of sustainable finance. Next slide, Sichuani. Okay, so as the theme stated, it's cultivating resilience and developing wise habits. A smart investor avoids fraud and scams. So in terms of fraud and scams prevention, we had a key messaging around this as well. So one of them is that a smart investor verifies that an investment professional that they're dealing with is licensed. So we're encouraging the public, we are still encouraging the public to deal with licensed professionals in the capital market, as well as just in the financial sector as a whole. So as a commission, the SEC issues licenses to all intermediaries that are found in the capital market. We issue brokers licenses, dealers licenses, we issue investment advisors licenses, and also the exchange is also licensed. So as a smart investor, please just verify every time that you're dealing with somebody who's offering you, let's say, investment advice, or before you place any form of investment, that the professional you're dealing with is licensed. And you also just check that the license is a valid license. So you can call the commission to find out whether this person is licensed, or simply visit our website. You'll find information on the types of licenses and the valid licenses as well. So another point is that a smart investor researches investment opportunities independently before investing. I think this is something that I mentioned earlier on. You don't base your investment on an endorsement by, let's say, a celebrity or another person. Make your own independent verification. Do your research. Find out if this particular investment is what I need, depending on my goals or my expectations. So if it's long-term, or do you want money to invest and get a return in, let's say, 6 months or so, you also just need to make your research and only invest in products that are meeting what your investment need is. The other point is that a smart investor avoids get-rich-quick schemes. And if it looks too good to be true, then it probably is. So this means that you do not need to invest in things like this. These are things that are like Ponzi schemes or pyramid schemes. They just offer you a return that is too good to be true. These are things like somebody's offering you 100 kwacha to say you invest 100 kwacha and will give you 1,000 kwacha at the end of the day. That's not possible. You need to ask yourself the question, what exactly is this person investing in that is going to give them such? Please just avoid such schemes. They are all just too good to be true, and they will just take your hard-earned money away from you. The other point is that a smart investor distrusts anyone who tries to pressure them into making hurried investment decisions. In most cases, fraudsters nowadays have become very smart. So when somebody is trying to offer you an investment option and you find they're pressuring you into investing, making up your mind quickly, let's say just decide quickly, excuse me, sorry, time is running out, we need you to make up your mind, decide now, send the money. Just know that that kind of pressure means there's something wrong. That should be an alarm for you, should be a red flag for you to say, this is not the right thing to do. So do not make hurried decisions when you're making an investment decision. Remember, investment is of long-term in nature, especially investments that are in the capital market. And so if they are long-term in nature, you want to think through your decision before you make up your mind to put your money in a particular product or with a particular individual who's going to act as an intermediary on your behalf. The other point is a smart investor never goes over the top sales pitches. So this again marries into the previous point I just mentioned, where you're being rushed into making an investment decision, and usually the tone of the person who's selling you this product is high pitched, and you find that they're speaking about it in a way that sounds really too good to be true. And it seems like if you do not invest now, you're going to miss a certain good thing that's going to happen in the market. In most cases, that is quite wrong. So don't feel rushed as a smart investor to make such a decision. Always think through your decision before you do. And also, if the person is genuine, they'll give you time to make up your mind. You do not need to invest there and then. if the opportunity is correct and the opportunity is right, it will come again, to present itself again, and you'll still be able to invest. You will not be missing out on anything. Then another point in terms of fraud and scam prevention, a smart investor is suspicious of requests to wire money out of the country. In most cases, I think most of us have received those SMSs that come from an international number asking you to send 10,000 kwacha to somebody or $10,000, and then I'll quickly give you a return of so much. So please be cautious. All those kind of requests, especially if you are being requested to wire money out of the country, or let's say if you've won, in most cases they come like, or you've won 10 million, but in order for you to access it, send us first 1,000 kwacha. So all that should be something that you need to be aware of as a smart investor. Just be cautious. Don't rush into such transactions. Be very vigilant. Always watch what's happening. Ask a lot of questions before you make your deposit with somebody. Do your own verification, like I mentioned earlier. And then another aspect, as a smart investor, you do not need to disclose your personal information to unexpected calls or any other form of communication. Let's say your PIN number, your PIN to an unidentified person who just asks you to quickly put in your PIN here and there. Don't disclose any personal information. Your bank details, your NRC details, just keep them private as much as possible. Do not disclose this information until you verified that this is a legitimate form of investment, and the steps I'm taking are actually the KYC steps, for instance, that are required for me to make this investment decision. And the other point is a smart investor ensures that the use of strong passwords and good data security practices, such as two-factor authentication on account containing financial data. So this just speaks to you protecting your account, your financial data. So for instance, if you are setting up an online payment account, maybe always have a strong password that is not easy to crack, because fraudsters nowadays are very smart. They're able to crack your passwords very easily, especially if you put things that are easy, like your date of birth, the name of your child, the name of your spouse. Those are very easy, or your age. So try as much as possible to create very strong passwords and change your passwords regularly as well. That also helps the scammers just not to keep track of your financial data. So another point to note is that a smart investor is skeptical of unsolicited investment offers through social media. So we also need to be wary of what social media has done to us. It's a good thing in that it has opened up doors, the world has gone digital and whatnot, but you just need to be very careful not to fall prey to social media type of investment campaigns or investment offers. Be very skeptical before you invest in anything social media, especially if you do not know the background, you don't know the owners of what you want to invest in. You have to just do your due diligence. So whatever information you're going to find on social media or on the internet, just verify that this information is solid. Make sure you know the source of this information and ask as many questions as possible. When it comes to the more questions you know it, or you can't hang up with new strategies each and every day. And every time things are changing. The scam that they'll do today, once we know that this is a scam, tomorrow they'll develop something different, and it will look very, very authentic, very, very proper, and you think it's the correct thing. So please just be vigilant as a smart investor. So again, these are some of the posters that we developed as the commission, speaking to fraud and scams. Okay, Sichani, my screen has just gone black. I don't know if that's the case for everybody. Okay. Just put it in presentation mode and move to the next slide, please. Thank you. Okay, so those are some of the key messages that we had. We're now going to get into the campaign materials that we used. So we did a lot of outreach programs during the month of October to commemorate the World Investor Week. As Dingase mentioned at the start of the program, in as much as it was a week-long kind of commemoration, we did encourage the market and ourselves to spread our activities for the whole month of October, just to emphasize World Investor Week, also just to emphasize the key messages, the fraud and scams, the investor resilience, the crypto assets messages were all spread throughout the month of October. So some of the materials that we did, which we ended up with a reach of over 40,000 people on social media, what you're seeing on the screen. So to start the official commemoration of the World Investor Week, we had a ministerial launch, which was done on the 1st of October by Honorable Felix Mutati, the Minister of Technology. So this was launched on national television, and there's a poster to that you can see there on the screen. Then we kicked off the World Investor Week with an actual commemoration event, which took place at Southern Sun on the 2nd of October. There's a poster there. So this was also an invitation from our board chairperson, who was Mrs. Ruth Mugala, and she was ably represented by our director, market supervision and development, Mr. Nonde Sichilima. Then we had radio programs that took place throughout the week of the 2nd to the 8th, also in the following week. And these are also some of the other things that you can see here. I mean, some of the posters that you can see here on the screen. So at the commemoration event, or the kickoff event, we launched the World Investor Week Inter-University Debate Competition. This was announced at the launch and took place from the 11th to the 13th of October. This was in Livingston. So the Inter-University Debate is a debate that invites universities all around the country to participate in a debate competition, and their topics of debate are couched from the theme, which was cultivating resilience and wise habits. So we had over 6 universities take place in this particular event. We hosted this in Livingston. We happy to be hosted by Victoria University of Technology in Livingston, where we had our winners, Solwezi School of Nursing. They emerged as the first prize winners for the national debate. So this debate is a debate that we've been doing as a commission for the past 3 years. We've done it at provincial level, so where we've had debate in each province, universities in each province debate. For example, here in Lusaka, we had the universities in Lusaka participate and debate, also on the Copper Belt. But this time around, we decided to make it a national debate. So we had debate clubs from across the country. I think about every province was represented at the nationals that took place in Livingston. Then we also had an essay writing competition that was also launched at the kickoff event, as well as awards that were given. Sichone, kindly move to the next slide. So awards were also given to the essay writing competition winners for last year. Sichone, kindly move to the next slide. Yeah, so as I was saying, awards were given to the essay writing competition winners for last year, and these are the top 3 that emerged as our winners. We had Rachel Kacha, who won first position. She was from the University of Mulungushi University. So she won first prize, which is 5,000 kwacha. Then we had Diana Mwala in second position. She is from the University of Zambia. We also had Cornelius Chola in third position. He was from Kwame Nkrumah University. So those winning, apart from the prize monies that they received, they also win an opportunity to intern at the commission for a period of 3 months, extendable to 6 months. So the debate, the essay writing competition is actually open for 2023. We are taking essays. You can send in your essay. If you're a student at any university, you can send in your essay for 2023. The topics that you're writing on are around cultivating resilience and wise habits. I'm sure there's a slide at the bottom which just shows the details of how one can participate in the essay. And this time around, we are pleased to just announce as a commission that the prizes have gone up. So please send in your essays. It's still open up to the 1st of December. Next slide, please. Okay, so another activity that we carried out as a commission in collaboration with the Capital Market Association of Zambia and the other market operators in the capital markets is the capital market exhibition. So our exhibition this year was at East Park Mall. We usually host the exhibitions at malls because we're trying to target high traffic areas. And we have visited a number of malls in Lusaka as well as on the Copper Belt. And this time around, we visited East Park Mall because currently it's one of the areas that's got a lot of population in terms of traffic for the public. So these are just some pictures that we had from the exhibition that you can see. So you actually see our market players that joined us at the exhibition. This year's exhibition was very great because it was well represented by every part of our market in terms of intermediaries. We had the stock exchange there present. We had stockbrokers that were present. We had investment advisors present. We also had PRS, which is a rating agency, and also another investment advisory agency that just helps you to invest in offshore accounts. Okay, Sichuan, we can move to the next slide. Sichuan, next slide, please. Okay, so this slide just speaks to university and secondary school engagements that we also did as part of the commemoration for the World Investor Week. As I mentioned earlier, we have different target groups. Remember, there were children, then there were youth as well. So for children, we visited a school in Chongwe, and there's a picture there of, I think this school is Mukamba School, where we visited the children and distributed investor education tools, such as the board game that you see there in the picture. We also had a talk at the school and just spoke to them about fraud and scams and about capital markets in general. So for this engagement, we partnered with ABC, Asset Management Company, Management Limited, we went with them to Mukamba School at their request to carry out this particular engagement with the school. We also again went with ABC and the stock exchange, the Securities Exchange rather, to a university in Kabwe. This is the Mulungushi University, and those are the pictures that you're seeing there. So we had an engagement with the students at Mulungushi University. We gave a presentation there again. We gave them options of investment in the capital market and the different products that one can invest in. Okay, next slide, please. Next slide, Sichone. Okay. Okay, so I did mention the national inter-university debate that took place in Livingston, and these are the pictures that you see here. So the inter-university debate was graced by Her Worship, the Mayor of Livingston, who you can see there in the pictures. And these are some of the pictures that you are seeing on the screen for the winners, as well as the debate teams that took part in the competition. I did already mention that the winners for the debate were Solwezi School of Nursing, that took the first prize of 10,000 kwacha. And this prize was sponsored by the Lusaka Securities Exchange, the LUSE. They're the ones who sponsored the first prize, while the other two prizes were sponsored by the Commission. Next slide, please. Okay, so we have a comment in the chat box, just guiding you to the essay writing competition. If you'd like to take part in the essay writing competition and you're a student for a particular university, there's a link there that you can click to access the concept note and just the guidelines of how you can participate in the essay writing competition. So this is not restricted to only universities, it's for any tertiary institution. So any higher institution of learning, if you're a student at any one institution in the country, you're able to participate in the essay writing competition. So the topic is still the theme that we are talking about today. That will be the topic for the essay for this year, which is cultivating resilience and wise habits. And those are the sub-themes, so you can choose to write on any one of those themes that we also talked about during our presentation today. So the awards for this particular essay will be awarded during next year's commemoration of the World Investor Week. Okay, featuring in next slide, please. Okay, we have come to the end of our presentation for today, where we're just highlighting what the World Investor Week is about and why it's important for us as a commission and why we feel the public need to resilience and how to just embrace wise habits when it comes to investing in any product that you would like to invest in the capital market, as well as just in the financial sector as a whole. So we'll now take some questions, and I'll invite Dingase back to just assist us with the questions, should we have any from our audience. Feel free to put up your hand or type your question in the chat, then we'll attend to your question. Thank you.
Thank you, Stali, for such a beautiful presentation. I saw at the point when you were talking about discussing fraud, there was a hand from Derek. I hope Derek is still around. I've had bad internet connectivity from this end. You may have already interacted with him, I'm not sure, but I did see that hand and I thought Derek had a burning contribution to make.
Okay, no, we haven't had any interaction with anyone yet. So Derek can actually come on board and speak to his contribution or question.
Derek has dropped out.
Oh, okay, that's quite unfortunate. Okay, Dingase, is there anything you'd like to add to our discussion today while we just wait for more questions from our audience? Anything you'd like to emphasize on?
Yes, at the point when you were discussing sustainable finance, I just had this, like emphasis on what would seem like a new concept, just to emphasize how does it affect me as an investor. And secondly, I want to talk about what the audience might be seeing as a very youthful audience that we have and why it is like that. So on sustainable finance, the basic way or what is really needed to understand and appreciate is that we all have a role to play in what is a current concern around the world, and this is climate change. And so as an investor, you want to think, what role can I play? You obviously are going to keep on investing. The very basic way you can think about it or try to understand is to say, what impact will my money have on the environment? So you obviously are going to invest in somebody's ingenuity, somebody's entrepreneurial prowess. That is those people who already have companies, usually is where we take our money into as investors. So we are going to want to align ourselves with that company which is doing something about mitigating the effects of climate change. What is that investment opportunity doing to impact on the social welfare even of people, the poor, for example? Is it something that aligns with my values? In other ways, as you are trying to invest, you always, most of the time, an investment advisor will say, will ask you what your values are, because you will find that there are people who say, I'll never invest in such a company, for example, which is selling maybe certain products that don't align with your values. This could be just an example, maybe alcohol. You don't think that it is good for the environment. So that is impact investing. It's the same way that sustainable finance has come on board to ensure that we think through our investments and support those investments that are doing something about the environment, for example, or even the social welfare of the people. That's just a way to understand the sustainable finance. In the banking sector, they call it green finance. There are these terms around green. So I just thought I emphasize, as we are all learning these new concepts of sustainable finance, but how does it, or what has it got to do with us as investors? So that is just a point of emphasis. What is my money doing? How does it impact the environment or the welfare of the environment? And then we must also know that individually we decide, but collectively we make the impact, a big impact. So if everyone is thinking of saving the environment little by little, maybe doing something less, not buying too much of things that, plastics and so on. Little by little, if everybody starts getting on the bandwagon like that, then we are going to have a big impact on the environment. And then I think I wanted to talk about the youth. The youth are a key audience in the National Strategy for Financial Education. And this is because we simply wanting to lay a foundation for the future. There's not only the World Investor Week that we celebrate as the Commission, but we come together as a financial sector in Zambia to really spearhead financial education, increase financial literacy levels, which we know that they are quite low, and there's a gap that we want to bridge for investors or for the public in order for them to make financial decisions that are meaningful for themselves. And collectively, of course, this will impact the economy in our country. So we are going to the youth, not because they have money. Actually, these are adults who are very poor right now, but we are laying the foundation for a future. If they come into the economy, into participation ready, knowing what opportunities they have and the importance of it, then we'll see a future that is very prosperous in the end. And of course, we don't do things for ourselves. We do it for future prosperity. I thought I'd just make that emphasis. And this is not only happening here in Zambia, it's happening everywhere, getting preparedness. But of course, we have not let go of everybody. like going to an exhibition just means here we are, we want everyone on board, we want everyone who's willing and keen to learn. Even those who, anything they can pick up is important to us, and everybody we can find is important. So same spirit with this town hall meeting. We would like that we just put ourselves out there and say, here we are, ask us the questions you might have for us, and know something about the opportunities that are embedded in the markets. And we know that they are quite a lot and good for everybody, anyone and everybody. Stali, I think that would be my 2 cents to your very nice presentation.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Dingase. Thank you. Do we have any comments? We have a few more minutes before we close the meeting. So if you've got any comments, you've got a burning question, any clarification, please feel free to just put up your hand or ask for your mic to be unmuted so that you make your comment and contribution.
Jones, you can go ahead.
All right. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. And I must say that I love the presentation. It has been very informative, and thanks for putting that together. So I'm John Sambaombe from within Lusaka. So I did follow the World Investor Week from the onset up to the last day for the grand finale for the universities. There was a hype and vibe around it. And once more, well done to SEC for arranging such kind of an arrangement. However, I didn't see, I don't know whether it's just me, I didn't see the hype and the vibe that I see from other financial institutions like banks during Financial Literacy Week. So how can we better collaborate with the relevant stakeholders in the financial industry to strengthen the impact of future events? Thanks.
Okay, thank you so much for the question. For your contribution, and thank you so much for the feedback and for participating and following through the whole commemoration. We do take that as feedback on how we can improve the event and build more hype. Our Facebook page is also open for comments and contributions. If you've got any ideas, we are willing to learn, we are willing to engage and see how best we can do this. We are open to invitations. For instance, if you've got a school or a workplace engagement where you'd like the commission to come and speak and make a presentation on any subject or topic relating to the themes that we are commemorating for the World Investor Week, we are open to do so. Thank you once again for your feedback.
Just to add to your answers, Stali, it was John, eh? John, thank you.
Yes.
I also add my thank yous to your feedback. We take it as feedback. It is something that, like you saw in our concept, we encourage others to come on board and participate. It is, I think, one of the areas where we are weak as a country, where we need to improve together with the stakeholders. So it is on us, of course. When you say banks, yes, we have banks obviously operating in the capital markets, and but mainly they are in the financial markets, in the banking sector. They are also encouraged to participate, especially during the Financial Literacy Week, and most of them do actually come on board. But the way you have put it is something that it's not for not wanting to mention apathy. We just want to mention that we all have to organically grow into accepting the fact that financial literacy levels are quite low and we need to up our game as a country. everybody who has the knowledge needs to come together, especially those who are licensed to do something about it. They need to come together and help the public understand even what they are providing, so that they can make those financial decisions with the capacity to actually understand and take up appropriate products. Because this is a situation where you end up consuming an inappropriate product and it ends up not doing you good, but kind of even maybe harms your financial welfare or your financial health, so to say. So yes, thank you very much. It's a contribution that we will take to our stakeholders. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dingase. Thank you for that. We've come to the end of our town hall presentation for today. If we don't have any other questions, I take it, and contributions. We thank you so much for your time. Thank you for joining us. And like we mentioned in the previous town halls, we did have a series of town halls that has been running. So we will continue next month with our series. And this time we'll be speaking about investing in bonds. Please join us again on the last Thursday of the month on the same time and same link. Thank you.